Hello, middle schoolers, and welcome back to the school year. Now, this is an exciting year, having use of Chromebooks that you can carry with you to every class every day. So there's a few things that we'd like you to know so that you're set for success in this school year. We're really going to focus on three main things for this to kick off the year. Number one, how to effectively use Gmail. We know that you know what that is, but have you really used it a lot, and do you know how to efficiently manage the emails that you're getting and how to send a good one? We're hoping that a quick little blurb here at the beginning will help you get started on the right foot. We're also going to talk a little bit about using a calendar and just a few things in Google Classroom that you should know about. So to begin, in Gmail, a couple of things that you should really know. Number one, you probably have a lot of emails just sitting in here. When you're done with an email, as many as you want to, like, I don't know who this Gothier guy is, but we're going to go ahead and check emails from him. I have more below. You see I have plenty, but we're going to start there. There's a couple things you can do. Number one, labeling. So you can have a Mr. Gothier folder. And if it doesn't exist, I can create a new one. And then you could choose to nest it under a label. I don't have any, so there's nothing to nest it under except for inbox. So we'll create that. But the other thing is I don't want them in my inbox. Now, you might be tempted to delete emails, and there are some that maybe you could delete, like these Google security alerts when you sign into a new device. But I would highly recommend to never delete emails. You have unlimited storage. Instead, archive them. So they're gone. They're no longer in my inbox. But if I go into this label, another thing, perhaps once upon a time you set up your email signature, and it might still say that you're in Mrs. Haling's classroom, but you're in 8th grade. We want to take a look at that. So to change that, click on the gear for settings and go into settings. And the number one thing that you're going to look for is on this first page down near the bottom, you have a signature section. You want to keep that up to date, just with some brief information, your name. You could put your homeroom teacher in, and anything relevant like that. Make sure you click Save Changes when you are done. There's a lot of other things to do in Gmail, but we'll leave you with one other very important piece of information, and that is when you send an email, make sure that it is properly formatted. If you're emailing your teachers, they would really appreciate it if you took the time to write a decent email. So let's say you're emailing your teacher. You want a subject for sure. You always want to start with a greeting. And then what you want to do is have a body and a conclusion and your name. So once you do those things, that's properly formatted. Your teachers will appreciate that. And then you can go ahead and send. You also have the ability, if you need to attach items from Drive right into the email. So those would be things that are probably the most useful that you'll use in Gmail. And then when you're ready, just click Send, and they will receive it. Moving on to Google Calendar, this will be something that I really encourage all of you to give a try. Because with a device on you, it'd be a great way to always be on top of things that need to happen. I know how hard it is as a middle schooler to keep track of the assignments you have to do, the meetings you have to attend, the games, the practices, the sign-ups. There's a lot. Having a calendar can certainly help. You can get reminders in your email. You can see it all at a glance. And I think it'll really help keep you organized if you stick with it. So out at Google Calendar, and just as a reference, most of these things can be accessed very easily through the waffle menu. Let's say I need to remind myself for something for Friday morning. I can put that here. And I can say, maybe it's newspaper meeting. And then this is a brief at a glance section here, but this is where you can alter the time and the date. So how long it's going for. You can also add guests. So if other students you want to be a part of this event, you can add that. Location could be something as simple as whatever room number in the building it is. It's not going to be a real location on a map, but it'll be there. And you can also add a description. However, if that's not enough, there is this More Options section. You can go and add notifications. By default, you're going to get one 10 minutes before if you happen to have Google Calendar on your phone or open on your Chromebook. Otherwise, you can get an email and you can change how long that email comes from. So it could be days, weeks, or hours before you need the reminder. You can also add the guests here as well and choose whether or not that repeats. Maybe you've got something every Thursday that you need to be reminded of. You can choose to repeat that weekly on that day. And then once you have it, you can save it, and then it'll sit right here on your calendar. The last little bit about calendars is something I'm going to mention in Google Classroom. Once you are in a class and you have assignments, what I highly recommend is in that classroom, in the classwork section, there's a Google Calendar button. If you click on that, it will open Calendar. And it's going to ask you if you want to add that class to your calendar. I'm going to say yes. Here's why I recommend that. When assignments are due, they will go automatically on your calendar. You'll see them here because on the left side, you've got a new calendar. So this is a great way to automatically see things that are due and upcoming. And you don't even have to put those in yourself then if your teachers are using Google Classroom. Hint, hint. Additionally, within Classroom, just a few things that you probably know, but I want to mention again. If we go into an assignment itself, I'm going to go ahead and view it. And of course, if it's your first time, you'll get those bubbles, but probably not. You'll have a few options. Number one, if your teacher shared a template with you, you'll see that here. You'll be able to open that, edit that. If you are having to add your own thing to it, that's this section, add or create. You can add something from Drive, you can add a link or attach a file, or you can create something new right from here. And then when you're finished, you can choose to mark as done right from this section. And if you really want your teacher to see something and nobody else to, you can write a private comment and they will get a notification to see that. So you can communicate with your teachers through Classroom as well. So I'd recommend those two pieces, understanding how those work. Lastly, I want to talk a little bit about keyboard shortcuts. Once again, these are probably not new to you, but these are really, really important. So there's a few that I would like you to know. There's a lot on this page. This is just Google support for keyboard shortcuts, but I want to highlight a few for you. Number one, take a screenshot. This is amazing, especially the second one. Take a partial screenshot. Just holding down Control-Shift and then the show windows. It's like a square with two lines next to it. When you do that, you get a crosshairs and you can select what you want to screenshot. It saves it automatically to your file, so you can insert that and attach it to emails and websites, etc. But you can also quickly copy it to the clipboard to paste somewhere. To quickly sign out at the end of a class, if you need to, or at the end of the day, Control-Shift-QQ will do that. It's very quick. Of course, a student taught me that one a long time ago. Not shocked that they found a quick way to quit something. That's a joke. I'm kidding. All right. And there's a lot of other good ones too. Some of my favorites, Control-Shift-T. So if you close a window and you want to open it quickly, right back up, Control-Shift-T will get you back there. If you need to right-click on a Chromebook, try to see if I can have it on here. The easiest way, I think, is to hold down the Alt key and then click. You can try and do the two-finger tap, but sometimes it's tricky to get coordinated right. So I would say Alt and then click is the best way to right-click. Of course, know your Control-F. That's a great way to find things quickly on a page. If you're doing research, you don't have to dive through the whole thing, find the keywords that you need. There are a lot of keyboard shortcuts. Your Control-C copy, Control-V paste are very important ones, but make sure that you take some time, get familiar with keyboard shortcuts. They will make life easier for you. And at the end of the day, if you have any questions about any of these tools, using them, or other questions about Chromebooks, you can always email me jgothier@depeer.k12.wu.us, and I'm more than happy to help you with whatever it is that you need.